moving back Chiwa a little bit. And the Bulls will start with the basketball.
Both these teams like to play a lot of man-to-man, Jim, like to get it right up in your face.
Bulls haven't had a big offensive showing so far this year, but their defense has been stellar. They played a lot of games in the 50s. Here's Boggs with a three. Chiwa almost got the tip. Marquise Godwin comes down with the basketball. Hampton won their first 2 games against D1 opposition. In their last 3, they have dropped 3 in a row. There's Garvin with a nice move. Transfer from Nicholls State, and he gets Hampton on the board early.
It looked like Boggs had the assignment early. I'm curious how USF will match up against him during the course of the game, whether they go small and quick or bigger.
Bulls got off to that big lead early over Auburn. They led by 15 at one point in the first half. (2009) was the last time the Pirates visited this building. Bulls won that matchup, and the 2 teams have not played since. Here's Dickens, strong move to the basket. He's one of the best shot blockers in the country, but that's a nice offensive move.
And he was really not engaged that much offensively the last couple games against Georgia Southern and Wofford. They're backing down Chiwa and scoring on the left side.
Only averages 3 points a game. Hampton up 4 in the early going. Boggs thought about the three, puts it on the floor, and tried to dump it off to Chiwa. And the Bulls with the turnover.
And this is where USF, with a lot of transfers coming in, they've had stretches where they've had a tough time scoring the basketball.
Russell Dean, coming off a 30-point game, finds Godwin, and he's too strong with the three. Caleb Murphy with the turnover. He had only 7 on the season and over 120 floor minutes, but he gives it up there. And the Bulls coming back the other way. Chaplin's going to get called for a push-off. That'll be on South Florida.
One thing Hampton does extremely well is get back in transition defense. And there, Murphy got what I thought was a pretty good shot in that 15-foot area, but he was doing a 2-on-3. So he didn't have great numbers. And I think USF is going to have to pick its spots well in terms of when they go after Hampton on the transition game.
Slow start for the Bulls, 0 for 3 from the floor and 2 turnovers in the first 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Garvin with the left hand. Boggs hung in well against him defensively.
Yeah, much better adjustment, and he also was on the right block where Garvin scored last time on the left.
Chaplin with a three. Jameer Chaplin, 23% from 3 on the season. He connects there to get the Bulls on the board.
As a club, USF has had a tough time scoring from distance. Hampton will give up its fair share of open three-point looks, though.
Three-point line will be interesting today. Bulls allow only 20% shooting from the three-point line. Here's Chaplin, and he's got a quick 5 to put USF ahead.
Really great job of picking the pocket there of Haskett on the switch and able to come out and turn it into points.
Dean from the free throw line, and Hampton starting to cool down a little bit. That's going to be on Garvin, hooking the arm of Boggs. Bulls on a 5-0 run here, and it's all been Jameer Chaplin.
Yeah, great job again on the switch, the hedge on the screen that time by Dickens, and able to make something happen was Chaplin right after the three. Sometimes you hit an outside shot, it'll give you a little bit of extra energy, and maybe it did for Chaplin.
Here's Javon Green, had the big shot late against North Carolina A&T rather, that absolutely rescued that game for the Bulls. Now Chiwa backing his way in. That's a nice looking move by Russell Chiwa, 7 in a row for USF.
Well, if he can do that during the course of the game and the season, that adds a dimension that USF really hasn't had in that low block score. Nice little baby hook in the lane.
D'Angelo Epps in the game for the first time, and he turns it over. Javon Green, and the Bulls on a run here.
Well, Green created and Green scored in the other end. Nice unselfishness by Boggs to give it up.
Second steal of the first half for the Bulls, and they've turned each into points. Great move to the basket. Russell Dean, sophomore, at 71 points per game allowed last year, was such an anomaly for this program.
And, you know, young teams sometimes, or you know, teams haven't been together, struggle defensively. It has not been the case so far early on this year.
Chaplin keeps the rebound alive. Sam Hines hustling but can't control it. And Garvin comes up with a basketball. Byron Matos in the game for the Bulls. Comes out high defensively. Epps now with the entry pass to Garvin. Garvin with the jump step, and it looks like he got fouled before that. They may get Hines on this.
You know, that was not a zone by USF, but it was almost like a sagging man-to-man that plays somewhat like a zone. Willing to give up the three-point shot so far for Hampton on the wings.
They got Matos rather than Hines on the foul. So a shot clock reset. Garvin had an open look from three, passed it up. That one on the floor, poked away by Green, but it'll be run down by Godwin.
It should have reset to 20, and it reset to 30, I think, because there was no possession controlled by USF.
Right now it reads 26. We'll see if they're going to adjust that or not. Edward Joyner Jr. with an early season non-conference road trip for his team to Tampa. Well, they did not reset the shot clock, so a lot of time for Hampton to work with here. D'Angelo Epps working on Chaplin. And he hits the jumper. That's a three for Epps, who is only at 16% from three-point range coming in.
Yeah, it's only the third three he's hit, and this being their sixth game of the year.
Chaplin weaving through traffic, and a foul's going to be called. I think they'll get Haskett on this one. So this will be an out-of-bounds play for the Bulls as Trey Moss enters, replacing Murphy. Murphy's minutes, Neil, are up over 30 per game now. He's been on the court a lot, so an effort early to get Moss a little bit of time here.
And probably a good time to do it, leading in the 12-minute timeout, too. Give him an extra minute or so of rest to kind of survey.
Here's Moss, the true freshman. Nifty little move. Trey Moss puts USF back ahead.
Nice job keeping the dribble alive and finding that little seam right at the area below the free throw line.
Here's Russell Dean, 30 points in their last game against Georgia Southern. Now Epps once again. And Matos way up in the air.
Well, they had Hines down the floor if they saw him.
Chaplin can't get the roll, a foul on the rebound, and this will be on the Pirates. They're going to get Garvin. And that will be his second foul, so Garvin is going to sit.
Yeah, it's a pretty big foul. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's a grad transfer from Nicholls State, who's really impacted them, nearly 16 points a game. He may have to sit the remaining 12:50 of the half.
Dayshore Dickens takes his place. Green thought about the three. Now he'll get the Bulls into the half-court offense. Matos, and there's the shot blocker. Dayshore Dickens, 3.5 per game last year. That one goes over the top, and it will go back to South Florida, but Dickens making his presence felt in the paint.
He definitely, well, if you're not going to use a shot fake on a guy that big and you're going to just try and back him down when you're 4 inches shorter, it's harder to get your shot off.
DJ Patrick in the game for USF, and he will launch from 3. And Dean with the rebound.
It's an open look, but probably not quite within the flow of the offense.
That'll be a foul on Moss, and Dean will get free throws. Dean was 18th in the nation last year in assists per game, and he's a very good free throw shooter also at 80%.
And there he showed the ability to get to his left hand. He's done that the last couple trips down the floor. He's a right-hander, but he's able to turn the corner.
Got a really unusual rotation on that ball. He'll get one more to try to tie things up. Offensive board for the Pirates. And Green able to scoop it off the miss by Raymond Bethea. Patrick may have stepped out of bounds there. It's
There's 2 grad transfers. Haskett from Harvard and Garvin from Nicholls State, who already are on the bench with 2 personals.
Haskett checks out. Jaquin Wiley is in the game for the first time. And that's going to be a foul on the Bulls. The screen set by Jalen McCreary.
It has really been a point of emphasis this year throughout college basketball. And, you know, again, you got a lot of transfers who are trying to find rhythm, finding the right spots on the court. And McCreary clearly was moving as he set that screen at the top.
So still a 1-point game as both teams struggling offensively in the last couple of minutes. Epps into the paint, a lot of contact. And the Bulls will get called again, and McCreary, I believe, may get his second here. Nope, they went with Patrick instead, so that's Patrick's first.
I thought Epps might have been guilty of just losing his feet a little bit there.
Still holding his elbow a little bit after that one. Bulls giving up only 50 some odd points per game this year. Their defense has been outstanding, and they get the stop there.
Really good box out by Patrick too.
McCreary with the left hand. This has been a long time on the sidelines for Caleb Murphy, and the Bulls offense has not been very sharp since he departed. Dickens with a nice looking outside jumper again. Not a very aggressive offensive player normally, but he's got 4 in this game, and the Pirates are back up.
It's almost 3 minutes without a point now for USF.
They've missed their last 4 from the floor. McCreary challenging Dickens, and there's Dickens' second block of the game. He was second in the nation last year.
When you're facing a shot blocker, the fall away is probably the worst way to go. You want to get up in on that shot blocker and really force, either use the head fake or the pump fake, and use your quickness to get by him.
Epps gets cut off, and the Bulls with the rebound. Hines pulls it down. Patrick with a 3. And Hines has the ball knocked away. It's going to go back to South Florida.
Well, now we'll get a look at Murphy coming back in. In fact, you got 3 starters returning for USF. Brian Gregory using his bench a lot earlier than the norm. In fact, he's used 10 players already.
Bulls hit 5 of their first 9 shots from the floor, and then they've missed 6 in a row. Sorrell Smith with a touch for the first time. And now Murphy.
Looks like Hampton's backed into a little bit of a 2-3 zone.
Shot clock at 4. Gonna have to be Smith. What a good-looking shot right at the buzzer. Sorrell Smith and USF back in front.
I don't know if that was quite what was designed. It looked like throughout the possession, USF had a tough time figuring out how to attack the zone, but Smith a nice fall away off the dribble.
Had a nice job of shot clock awareness as well, getting that off in time. 3 from the corner, Raymond Bethea. That's his first 3 of the year. Transfer from Howard.
Well, so far we've had 2 guys hit threes who you would not expect. I think USF paid attention to the scouting report, but Hampton has made some shots that maybe they didn't expect so far early.
Sorrell Smith and McCreary stripped on the rebound. Turnovers mounting up for the Bulls so far here in this first half. That'll go back to the Pirates.
Yeah, it's a total of 7 of them for USF.
There's the 3 by Bethea.
He just had a lot of time to be able to line that up and had the shoulders squared before the catch.
They'll send it deep, and Russell Dean with the basketball.
A little surprised Hampton has Garvin back on the floor with the 2 personals.
Something the Bulls need to be aware of, try to get him into further trouble. That's going to be on McCreary, poking that ball away, and that will be the second on Jalen McCreary.
He reached down with the hand, and usually when you reach down, you're going to be guilty of the infraction.
Garvin will get free throws. Graduate student, 76% from the line. Bulls will get Boggs back in to replace McCreary with the 2 fouls. And 1 out of 2 for Garvin.
There's a matchup zone once again, a 2-3. Curious to see how they attack. Chaplin already has a 3. He'd be the obvious guy to help break it up.
To the corner it goes to Boggs, and he has it taken away. That is turnover number 7 for USF. Garvin with the runner. And that'll be touched last by Hampton. It'll be USF basket.
And then by the time the starters came back, that zone had already established itself, and USF is looking for an answer against that zone, that 2-3 zone by Hampton. We'll see what happens on this trip. It looks like they're going to stay in it.
And the Bulls have gone to their starting 5 here, coming out of the timeout. Over a Chiwa screen, Caleb Murphy. That's where he can be devastating, that mid-range game where he is really tough. 2
things help. First, they ran a little bit of weave action to create a little bit of an edge for Murphy to turn the corner, and the Chiwa screen helped finish that.
Dickens, as they try to set up the dunk.
I think it's going to be the second on Chaplin. He undercut.
Here's Murphy a moment ago.
And you see with that screen, he really doesn't need that much space to be able to create a shot in that mid-range area.
Jameer Chaplin got the foul on the other end. 1-1 for Dickens, who's a 50% free throw shooter. Hampton has left some points on the free throw line, 2 out of 5, but the Bulls haven't earned a free throw yet in this game.
Sometimes against the 2-3 zone, it's a little harder to go to the basket.
Here's Chiwa. He's going to work on Dickens. And Garvin with a rebound.
Pretty good move, but Chiwa, again, stronger move, but I think he can probably be able to use some sort of drop step against Dickens to get by him.
Russell Dean to the basket. Chiwa made him change it, and the Bulls come out with it. Boggs with the one dribble and shot, and Dickens way up in the air for the rebound.
That was a nice job by Boggs to force the defense to fly by, use the head fake. Got himself an open look in transition, too.
Dickens having a nice game. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks in this first half. Garvin hits. And the Bulls down 3. Garvin playing with those 2 fouls now has 5 points.
Both the field goals he had were isolations on the left side of the floor.
Murphy can't connect, and not many second chances for the Bulls.
No, not at all. And even when they've had second chances, it hasn't been anything they've been able to collect around the rim for a layup or a dunk.
Open look from 3 for Dean. And 2 Bulls get tangled up, and it's going to go back to Hampton.
Chaplin and Chiwa are 2 of the guys who have been with this group the longest, and just not the communication there that I think Brian Gregory would like. I mean, you got 3 guys underneath the basket here for USF. Nobody for Hampton.
So a second chance opportunity for the Pirates, already leading by 3. Poked away by Green, and here comes Murphy. Through traffic, and Caleb Murphy finishes. He's got 4.
Oh, great job to look over to his right and see Patrick and force the defense to honor that. Led to the easy 2.
Bulls getting a little more aggressive defensively. Hines keeping Garvin off the baseline. Dickens over Chiwa, and the Bulls on the run looking for the lead. Murphy can't finish this time, and it is off of Chiwa and out of bounds.
I think if Caleb Murphy had a second look at this, as you get a look at his first drive, this is how he scored. Really good Euro step to get into the lane. The next trip down the floor, I thought he didn't realize that Dickens was there until it was too late and had to adjust his shot in midair.
So still a 1-point lead for Hampton. Bulls heading out on the road for a Monday game at Boston College after this one. Godwin with a 3. Good looking shot by Godwin. He had a couple of games with 5 3-pointers last year. Transfer from Old Dominion looked smooth on that one.
So far, the 3-point shooting of Hampton is the difference. They've made 3 to USF's 1, and they've gone to the free throw line.
Chiwa going in the paint, and a nice move getting it over the shot blocker Dickens for 2.
Second time he's backed his way in with a jump hook to score, and he's done it with the left hand and now the right.
He's got 4 on the evening. Wiley sends it across to Garvin. And a 3 for Garvin. The long-range shooting for the Pirates. Key factor in this first half. They're now 4 out of 10.
Good help on the block, but probably a little bit too late for USF on the closeout. Great job spreading the floor by Hampton.
Wiley picked off by a screen. Now Patrick. He has just not been able to connect since that early season game when he had 6 threes. Since then, it has been a struggle for him.
And that goes for the whole group for USF. They've had a tough time knocking down open jumpers.
Bulls 1 out of 8 from 3-point range. Garvin open. And the Bulls perhaps fortunate there. Murphy puts the Jets on and gets the dunk. Caleb Murphy.
How's the phrase go? You got to stop the basketball to prevent transition buckets. Hampton has a reputation for doing that, but not there, not at all.
Paint just opened up for Murphy, and he took advantage of it. Godwin's 3 is no good, and on the floor and right to Garvin. 2 minutes left in the first half. Godwin puts it on the floor this time, and Hines cleans up the rebound. And a whistle coming up the court. It is a timeout taken by the rebound. Brian Gregory drawing up the offense. So let's see what the Bulls do here. Got a good look. Hines unable to connect. And the rebound to Luke Therian, 6'10" freshman, native of Canada, on the floor for the first time tonight for Hampton.
Really good creation that time by Murphy to get Hines an open jumper again, just like has been an issue. They just weren't able to knock it down for USF.
Hampton rolled the dice and kept Garvin on the floor for multiple minutes with the 2 first half fouls. They've got him on the sideline now. I think the shot clock is going to expire before Bethea was able to get the rebound airborne.
Probably the best defensive sequence, I think, of the night so far for USF. And when they're defending, they're going to be a tough team to beat because they can also use it to create some offense, as we've seen.
Well, it's late first half, and Hampton with 24 points, so the Bulls are right about where they normally are defensively. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to put up the offensive numbers quite yet.
Hampton's put a little more pressure on in this segment here.
5 to shoot. And the Bulls come up empty.
Now, you've talked about it, just a one-and-done situation where guys are dropping back almost in transition.
Bulls have only 3 offensive rebounds in this half, as Hampton will both the Bulls and the Pirates. They got the Pirates by 20 a couple of days ago. You see the clocks? Hampton looking for a good shot here.
Good man-to-man by Green.
And forced Godwin into a tough one. Bulls have 5 seconds here. Murphy sees the clock, under control, got a good shot but couldn't hit it. And that's how this first half will end. Defensive battle.
USF for sure will start man-to-man. We'll see if Hampton goes to win his own, because that was really effective in the latter part of the first half.
Russell Dean with the basketball. Now here's Haskett. Garvin backing in on Boggs. And USF comes out with the basketball.
Well, Hampton went to an isolation play that's been really effective for them so far. Garvin on Boggs, he just left it a little short.
Chaplin has the Bulls' only 3. Shot clock down to 7. Nice penetration by Chaplin, and that sets up the easy hoop by Chiwa.
Well, 2 things there. One, the dive to goal by Chaplin to beat his man off the dribble. I'm sure that was a point of emphasis. And terrific job by Chiwa presenting himself and diving to the goal.
South Florida back to within 1. That one bangs off the backboard, and the Bulls scoop up the turnover. Jake Boggs has been quiet offensively. They're going to go to Chiwa. Boggs able to grab it. No shot clock reset for the Bulls. And USF running out of time. Boggs beats the clock, hits the 3. That's a big shot for Jake Boggs. His first 3 of the game puts USF ahead.
And the first one since early in the first half for USF. And it was great recognition by Green to know how much time he had left before getting that to Boggs on the wing.
5-0 USF run to start the second half. Garvin skips it across, and it's picked off by Green. And Murphy with the highlight reel dunk. Green with a beautiful setup, and the big finish for. Here's Dean. Stripped, gets it back. And he'll earn free throws. Nice job on the screen by Dickens. And that's going to put the Pirates on the free throw line.
Yeah, first time that Chiwa's called for the foul, but It was created by the fact that Dean was able to turn the corner on Murphy. First, Murphy had a really good knockaway, and I think the fans wanted a jump ball call. And then after that, Dean was able to get the ball back and then get to the rim.
Dean will shoot 2. Hampton just 2 of 5 from the line in this game. And again, he's an 80% free throw shooter. He's now missed 2 out of 3. But Neil, that is a rotation on the basketball that you don't see very often, especially from a really good shooter.
Yeah, it does not look like that of someone you would anticipate having that higher percentage at the line.
Gets the shooter's roll, though, on the second one, so 1 for 2.
And you can see Hampton is now backed into a little bit of a matchup zone on this trip.
Here's Green. Bulls deep into the shot clock before they really get into the offense here. Chiwa, that's a little too far outside for his range, but good work on the offensive boards by Chaplin. All the things we didn't see from USF in the first half, we are seeing in the second half.
A little more tenacity around the rim that time for Chaplin to rip it away on the weak side.
Boggs clears the rebound off the miss by Dickens. Chaplin too strong.
Really good job of taking advantage of numbers and getting an open look. I'm not quite sure if that's a really great shot, though, for Chapman off the dribble for him. That's not one of his strengths.
Garvin has been quiet in the second half. Bulls trying to double him up for a moment. Now Dean in a lot of traffic. He loses the handle. Godwin scoops it up. And the Bulls dodge a bullet there as the late 3 almost fell.
Really good box out by Chiwa, though, giving Green a chance to come up with that rebound.
Bulls trailed much of the first half. They were down 3 at halftime. Have come out and played well early second half. Boggs with a 3. And Dickens the rebound. Boy, that would have been a big shot for the Bulls.
And again, it's an open look, too, within the framework of the offense. So I think Brian Gregory has to like the shot choice, just not be able to make it consistently.
Godwin got his man up in the air, and he hits the 3. 6 for Godwin. That's his second 3 of the game.
Every time it looks like USF has got a chance to pull away, they don't seem to make that big shot from the wing or from the perimeter, and then Hampton has an answer from the perimeter.
Boggs posting up, finds Chiwa for the dunk. Nicely done by USF.
Excellent look that time by Boggs. Saw that Dickens had left his man, left Chiwa wide open underneath.
Back to a 4-point game. Chiwa now with 8. Here's Haskett. He just hasn't gotten started today so far with foul trouble in the first half. Offensive rebound, and Dean will launch. And Hampton now with 6 3-pointers in the game.
There was a segment there where Chiwa fell down, knocking into his own man, and that led to the scramble, and Hampton taking advantage.
Bulls unable to shake the Pirates. Here's Green from 3. Javon Green. He's got 5.
Now the question is, can they stop Hampton from making a 3 on the other end?
Things opening up a little bit for both offenses. What a nice pass underneath. That's Dickens. Russell Dean with a great look.
Yeah, Chiwa came out to hide a hedge, and there was no help when he went after the dribbler.
Chaplin driving to the basket. He's going to be called for an offensive foul. And we are going to break. Pirates, another good game for USF's Jameer Chaplin. Been contributing on the boards. with the points as well. But, Neil, a big call right before break a moment ago.
Yeah, he picked up his third foul. He's the first player on either side with the 3 personals. You know, that hurts in a couple of areas. One, he has the ability, as he's shown, to step out and hit the 3-point shot. But I think it hurts more on the defensive end, and the fact that he's one of the only 4 returning players for USF, too.
So we'll see how long he stays on the bike and off the court. Jalen McCreary has come in to replace him. Haskett into the paint. Hines forces him outside. And another offensive rebound for Hampton.
Second time in as many shots for Green. So really not an impact on the game, and now we'll see if USF can find a way to answer.
Matos out away from the basket. Now Sorrell Smith, who just re-entered. Shot clock at 7. Smith, and that'll be a shot clock violation. McCreary couldn't get it turned around in time.
Yeah, I thought it took a little bit too long for USF to realize how much time was left on the clock. I don't think Smith realized he had so little time before he let it go.
So that goes as a turnover for the Bulls, and that is their 10th of this game. Here's
it's a tough
Garvin.
matchup for Matos.
And Garvin going right to work. Garvin now with 12. That leads all scorers.
If you sag back in that situation, you're giving him an open look at a 3. And if you get up on him, as Garvin showed, he's got a quickness advantage.
Trey Moss back in the game. He goes to the basket, and that'll be an offensive foul on the Bulls freshman.
This is a very tough sequence right now for USF. They don't have Murphy on the floor. They don't have Chaplin on the floor. And they're now down to possession.
Second foul for Moss.
But I think they need to probably buy a minute or 2 for Murphy.
And they've got the media timeout coming at the under 8-minute mark. And Garvin will earn free throws.
And I would think they're going to make some sort of substitution soon, because Matos on Garvin is a really tough matchup.
Najee Garvin at the line for Hampton. He'll shoot 2.
Garvin 76% from the line. He's 1 out of 2 tonight.
He's a tough matchup for a lot of guys, but I think especially on Garvin.
Back to a 4-point lead for Hampton. Still a lot of time left, but you had the feeling for a while that the Bulls had kind of figured things out. I think back to that 3 they missed, leading by 5, and then Hampton came down, hit the 3 on the other end, and that was kind of the signal that the Pirates weren't done yet.
And now trying to deal with his own defense with Murphy out of the game. Who's going to penetrate it or penetrate with the pass?
McCreary gets into the paint, and a nice job by Jalen McCreary to get USF a little closer.
A lot of times against the 2-3, the high post offense will work there, and McCreary in the high post, Chu in the low post, and McCreary right over the top.
Chaplin got his 3rd foul with 13:47 to go. How long do you sit him, Neil?
I think probably until the 8-minute timeout. We're approaching it quickly.
Epps to the basket, blocked by McCreary. It'll go back to Hampton with 10 to shoot.
Boy, they really are letting him play, because McCreary got a lot of the body underneath, but got a clean block up top.
There's the block by McCreary. Dean with a long 3, and again the 3-point shooting by Hampton. They've now opened up a 6-point lead on their 9th 3 of the day.
And you got to respect the fact that they can hit them from all kinds of distances, and USF did not close out there. Now you're down a couple of possessions.
Bulls are going to come back with their starting guards at the next opportunity. Godwin from inside 3 this time, and McCreary with the rebound.
They're actually shooting better from 3 than they are from 2.
Sorrell Smith in the paint, earns the foul and hits the shot. Sorrell Smith been tough defensively once again, but having a hard time on the offensive end.
A bit of a tough time defending the three-point line, which has been a strength.
There's the three-point play. Yeah, you brought up during the break. Hampton better from 3 than they are from 2 in this game.
Yeah, 45% from 3, 9 out of 20. 8 out of 24 from inside the arc, 33%.
That's the difference in the game so far. Here's Garvin backing in on McCreary. And the Bulls unable to get the rebound again.
3 USF players together. Boggs just couldn't secure it. It was an easy rebound. It's the second time they've given up a second chance like that.
Hampton trying to make them pay. Here's Godwin. Dean with a nice move, but he gets cut off. Boy, that's good defense by Murphy. And Boggs secures this one.
It's not easy to play defense for a full minute. Really good job by USF to answer, but then a sloppy turnover.
That's the 13th turnover by USF. Brian Gregory was the closest to that one.
And Chaplin was tapping his chest knowing that's me. He didn't have his head up. That was just a nice dribble handoff by Murphy.
So right back to Hampton it goes. Hampton won their first 2 games, has dropped their last 3 against Division I foes. They've never beaten USF, only been here once before. That was in 2009. And this should be an over and back. There's the whistle. So that's a turnover for Hampton. That's their 10th. And the Bulls get another opportunity here.
Well, McCreary has given them some really good minutes now on the low block, and he's shown the ability to score. I think Brian Gregory's got to be happy with the defense he's provided, too, on Garvin. He's probably been the toughest defender on him. Now it's a question whether USF can score here in the half court.
Murphy will get things started as we approach 6 minutes remaining. Boggs hit a 3 earlier. Gonna have to be Chaplin running out of time. He gets it airborne, and the Bulls unable to connect.
And that was a lost rebound, though, that USF had an opportunity to get a second chance. It went off a Hampton hand.
Raymond Bethea with the basketball, poked away by Green. Here come the Bulls the other way, and Garvin will pick up the foul.
It's actually a pretty smart foul by Garvin. He's fortunate, though. He didn't get, he could have got a flagrant. He made enough of a play at the basketball that's not going to be in question there. And that will be his 3rd.
And the Bulls will have an out-of-bounds play.
That would have been an easy dunk.
Here's Murphy. Big time shot for Murphy. He's got double figures with 10, and the Bulls close to a single point.
One of the few times we've seen him actually shoot from the perimeter. Still within the arc, but from the corner. Usually he's working in that straight out area right around the elbows.
Bulls looking for a defensive stop here. Epps with the 3 over Boggs. And now South Florida with a chance to take the lead. Deep in the corner, Boggs connects on the 3. That's the shot they need from him. His second 3 of the game.
Good extra pass that time by Chaplin. He drew a defender. After faking the three, it allowed Boggs an extra moment.
Bulls starting to heat up a little bit from three-point land. That's their fifth. Dean can't hit it. Boggs again, open look, and he's off with that one. The follow by Chaplin, second try, and then Boggs can't pull it down, and the Bulls come up empty.
Everything went right except putting it in the basket. Chaplin just needs to be a little more composed in the paint, especially without Dickens, the shot blocker, in there.
2-point USF lead, under 4 minutes remaining. Bulls watching Godwin closely after he hit that series of three
free throws because there's only 3 personals on the other side.
That is going to be a shot clock violation. Didn't draw iron on the first shot, the scramble afterwards. And for both of these teams, shot clock violations have been frequent tonight. South Florida basketball.
They also are letting him play. I mean, Garvin got banged around a lot in the lane. Nothing called. I think the right call to call a shot clock violation, but they certainly have allowed a lot of contact, and you got to be aware of that as a player at this point, that they're going to allow contact.
I don't know if they're going to go to any kind of videotape review or not. Obviously, play has stopped, but they haven't made that move to the tape yet. Now they are going to look at it. So they're going to look at it for the shot clock to see if it did expire.
And if there was any contact on the rim, but I don't think there was either. I don't think there was anything close. The other thing they could argue is whether there was any type of change of possession here. But I don't think there was that either.
Garvin fighting through. There's all the contact. Sure didn't look like any contact with the rim. Certainly no USF possession.
No, you saw Boggs touch the basketball, but he never had possession. It was never any control.
So you wouldn't think that they would change this. If it goes as it stands, it will be South Florida basketball, and there is the hand to the head, meaning shot clock violation.
Well, turnover certainly starting to pile up on the Hampton side. That's a dozen now for them. And again, the USF defense, to their credit, after falling down a handful of 6 points actually at one point, has really tightened down the stretch here since they got Chaplin back on the floor. I think there's been a big difference when he's been on versus when he's been off.
Bulls are going to look at a little backcourt pressure here. Now they'll drop off. And Murphy into the front court.
I think that probably more than anything slows down USF getting into its offense here against the matchup zone.
Shot clock already approaching 10, and they're not into the offense yet. Now Murphy with 3 to shoot. And McCreary, a big offensive rebound. Bulls will reset.
He has really been active tonight on both ends of the floor, and there for the first time on the offensive glass to create.
5 points, 4 rebounds for him. And now the big jumper halfway down, but McCreary can't have it fall through, and Bethea with the rebound.
Got the look they wanted, for sure.
And looks like a timeout taken by Hampton here with 2:44 to go. Neil, it's oversimplifying, but this game is starting to look like a lot of USF games late. Who's going to make a shot? That's going to be your winner.
Well, I think if you're USF, your goal against Hampton is to try and take away the 2 guys who shot the ball the most. Dean and Garvin have taken 25 of their 49 shots from the field, so you have to imagine those 2 guys are going to manage the basketball. They've done a good job when McCreary has been on Garvin of helping nullify him, and I think with Dean, they want to keep him out of the paint, but at the same time also not hedge too much so one of the 3-point shooters gets an open look.
This is an 8-0 USF run, but to give you an idea of how difficult points have been, the Bulls are in a scoring drought of 2 minutes, 12 seconds. The Pirates are in a scoring drought of 5 minutes, 33 seconds.
And normally when you go that long without a point, you're not trailing by 2. That's because their defense has been good enough.
Godwin will toss it in. Hampton, by the way, down to 1 timeout remaining in this game. There's Godwin, and he does it again. His 4th 3 of the game.
You got to identify the guys who can shoot threes, and Godwin's has shown he can do it off the dribble. All but one of his shots have been threes.
Hampton 10 out of 22 from behind the arc. Green with a 3, and he's got the answer. Javon Green puts USF back ahead.
Where Hampton did it off the dribble, USF did it with really good ball movement. Excellent movement around the perimeter to create Green's open look.
Under 2 minutes.
Looks like McCreary heard his hand banging into Garvin.
10 to shoot. And Dean draws the foul on Murphy.
Foul number 23, Caleb Murphy. That's his first foul.
That'll be the first on Murphy.
You see Hampton again able to create off the dribble. There's Godwin, and good rotation there on the perimeter to give Green the open look.
Now 2 free throws for Dean. He's now 3 of 5 from the line tonight.
Well, they came in with the great numbers, and this is when you want your better free throw shooters at the line. USF is a long way from getting there with 3 personals on Hampton for the team.
We mentioned Dean had 30 points in his last game. 14 of the 30 came from the free throw line. He was 14 of 15 from the free throw line against Georgia Southern.
Hasn't felt it tonight of the USF rims.
Yeah, 3 big misses, 3 out of 6. Whistles blow, and that will be an offensive foul, and Murphy picks up another one.
23, Caleb Murphy, that's his second.
So back-to-back fouls on Murphy, but maybe more importantly, the Bulls lose the possession here.
Probably tried to do a little too much. I thought Hampton did a really nice job making sure they get some help once Murphy turned the corner to get to the baseline on the right side.
Approaching 1 minute to go. Poked away. Here's Green to the basket. Can't finish. McCreary hustling all the way, and he's fouled. Garvin will get the foul, and the Bulls will get free throws.
Really good job by McCreary staying with the play here. It was a better play by Green there with his step in. Didn't really keep his composure as he went to goal, but McCreary almost looked like he was waiting for Garvin to come in and see if he can get a 3-point play on it. Now he's got to hit his free throws.
One more coming.
That is the 4th for Garvin. Something to be aware of as we're down to the final 63 seconds.
Just the Bulls' 3rd free throw of this game. 2-point USF lead. Well, you've got to be preoccupied defending the 3-point line at this point, do you not?
I would say without question. And you got to stay with your guy and close. Not there.
Open look, but it was short, and South Florida with the rebound.
Now the challenge for Hampton is you almost have to play straight-up defense because you need 3 more fouls just to force USF to get to the line.
And the Bulls will run as much clock as they can here. Murphy gets through contact and drops it in for South Florida. The Bulls lead by 4.
Now in this case, you want to force them to have to work the clock and not foul if you're on USF side. And that's why Hampton's going to talk it over. They need either a quick 2 or a 3 to have a chance.
This will be their final timeout with a little over 20 seconds to go. And Caleb Murphy again taking center stage late. He did against Auburn as well.
Yeah, when plays have been needed to be made, he's been able to make plays, and I thought they were a good balance because he probably got hit a couple of times. I think Hampton might have been trying to foul and didn't get the call. Again, it's been a game where they have not called many personals at all on either side. In fact, Hampton has 8 total fouls, 39 minutes and change in.
So Hampton will have the basketball in the front court with 20.6 seconds to go. And the Bulls right now with a 4-point margin. Their last home game in this series of 5 consecutive home games. They'll go on the road to Boston next against Boston College. And a chance to get to 3-2 on the season if they can close out Hampton here.
I'm sure Brian Gregory is telling his guys 2 things. 1, don't foul. 2, if they want the 2, they can have the 2. Don't give them a 3. And then Hampton can't use a timeout if they score, so you get the ball in the hands of Murphy, your best ball handler, and force them to have to foul a couple times before you send someone to the line.
Got to think who you want to go to the free throw line, though, as well. Murphy at 47% this year from the line. Here's Haskett. There's the 3. And Murphy the rebound, and there's the foul with 12 seconds to go. First foul on Dean. And now USF will take a timeout before the free throws.
Now you just want to set up a play where you can get your inbound, use as much clock as you can with 12 seconds to at least force, if they're going to have to foul twice more, that you can run 4 or 5 seconds off the clock between the 2 foul chances.
So Murphy will go to the free throw line.
No, there's still 2 fouls to get.
That's right, yeah, and that's probably good news for USF. They can run more clock. So no free throws, and the Bulls will have an out-of-bounds play coming out of this timeout.
And I'm sure in this case, Brian Gregory, again, is making sure to diagram something, A, to get the ball in, but B, probably make it a situation where they spread the floor enough and it's difficult for Hampton to quickly foul, because after they foul this time, there's got to be another foul before you send someone to the line. You could use 4 or 5 of these 12 seconds off before a free throw is even taken.
Inbound, there's the foul. Less than a second elapsed there before Chaplin was pushed. So that's the 6th team foul. And the Bulls will inbound again. Bulls got to get this in play, and they take the timeout to avoid the 5-second call.
Smart move by Caleb Murphy to recognize he was running out of time. You don't need it. The one thing you don't want to do in this situation is turn it over, because as long as you get to the free throw line, you're basically forcing the other side to have to use the full 94 feet.
You can see the Bulls have 2 timeouts remaining. And that clock ever so slowly going down, 11.5 remaining, as the Bulls try to finish off Hampton here. Hampton 11-14 a year ago. Have a lot of transfers, but they have a lot of really good returning talent as well.
Yeah, I think the Big South is probably going to be better than a lot of people realize. We've seen 2 teams already. Campbell is expected to be at the top of the league, and A&T and Hampton have given USF fits. They've
both been very impressive here. Here comes Green our way after getting bumped by Haskett.
Hampton foul number.
One more second elapsed.
Haskett, that's his 3rd foul, team 7th.
And Green will get free throws now.
No matter what, even if he makes both, it's still a 2-possession game.
Jr. checks into the game for the Bulls.
Green on the day, 8 points.
He's hit a couple big threes and played some really good defense.
One more coming with the Bulls up by 5.
Really, he's the only true senior on the roster as a grad transfer.
Came to USF from George Mason, 1,000-point scorer, 500-plus rebounds in his career there. Poked away from Godwin, and now the Bulls can run it out. Green will hold it, and USF will survive a battle with Hampton. South Florida moves to 3-2 on the season, 58-52 the final. And Neil, I guess it's about exactly what we expected. The Bulls right about on their average for scoring and right about on their average for points allowed. Hampton gave them a great battle tonight.
They did. I thought Hampton shot the three extremely well tonight, and that made it very tough for USF. But when it came down to it, their team defense was really strong, especially when they had McCreary and Chapman.